This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience.
Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be battling FOMO, fear of missing out. While we're at it, get the Super Dacob FOMO pop socket. Yeah, you could put it on your phone. I put it on my iPad mini. What of it? Look at this. I scissor my own pop socket. Just like that. Now, Amazon.com, get your FOMO pop socket and get the FOMO pop socket while we're battling the FOMO at the same time. Thanks to Caitlin. Now, Caitlin Pawlowski made a video called 10 Tips to Stop Compulsively Online Luxury Shopping. Caitlin, my dear. Hello, darling. Hi, Caitlin. How's it going, sweetie? So, I'm going to post the link to Caitlin's video in the description box underneath my video. So be sure to go check out Caitlin's original video, thumb it up, give the lady a nice little comment, chat, send her some love, and subscribe to her channel. Okay, Caitlin, I'm really looking forward to reading and talking and discussing your 10 points, 10 tips to stop compulsively online luxury shopping. Do they really work? Let's figure it out. Okay, Caitlin, see you in a bit. Do they really work? I don't know. Subscribe to my channel first to find out. Clicks it. Push the join button next to it. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. Super Dacob, all spelled together on Patreon. Joining me there will give you access to extra perks as well. And thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged. Yas mama. This video is being blimmed, filmed live in front of a live audience, virtual live audience, who's in the chats with me right now. You can partake in the live stream every Saturday as well. Come join us. Everybody can join and partake in the conversation. So thank you to all my co-chatters in the chats right now. Now, y'alls. Oh, Alina says Caitlin is also a Cancerian. Hey, sister Caitlin, here's another Cancerian. Whoop, whoop. I know you're a softie inside. I see it in your smile. You can see it in your smile. But I ain't gonna sing because, first of all, I can't. Second of all, it copywritten, so we don't copy her. Okay, now. Alrighty. Caitlin says in her video that she shopped luxury, compulsive online shopping for over 2 years. She's now, you know, Caitlin has moved her whole channel into a Zen luxury minimalist, trying to better her ways, rectifying all the mistakelets that have been made through over-purchasing, overindulging in purchases. Now, these 10 tips are supposed to be made to help us prevent the FOMO. Get the FOMO pop socket, though. It's cute. It also turns. So, but point one, or tip one, go for a drive or read a book, because you can't drive or read and online shop at the same time. Caitlin says that she would come home after a few hours of driving. She would be so tired that she would be too tired once back at home to shop online. Now, this point doesn't really work for everybody, Caitlin. I know you wanted a 10 tips, because 10 is a good number, but the contras are, first of all, a lot of people don't drive cars. They could read a book. But the people that drive the car, girl, yeah, the car is going to stop me from buying online, but the car, I hate to break it to you, Caitlin, but once you're out of the pandemic and out of the lockdown, the car is going to drive you to the boutique to shop. So you're going to be sitting in the car being like, hey, cool, I'm driving around in my car so I don't have to do online shopping. Ooh, hold it. What's that? Dior boutique. Let me just park the car quickly. Just a second. Let me. And then you end up buying another Lady Dior. Or heaven forbid, a saddlebag. The blasphemy. And the problem with reading a book, for me, the more I read, the more I want to buy more books. So reading more books makes me maybe stop purchasing more luxury, but I'm just going to end up buying more books. And books are very hefty in weight. They occupy a lot of space and it's really hard to move them if you're moving. So first tip, kind of, the intentions are good. Is it effective? Does this tip really work? Yeah, let's say ish. It works ish, but only ish. You know what I mean? Penelope says, ooh, I need these tips to stop purchasing online. Tati says, she's fun. She is fun. I feel she may need some therapy. No, girl. No, she's lovely. I don't think so. I think it's just, she's very self-analytical, and I think it's a great step-by-step process. I love the fact that she's talking openly about it with all of us and sharing it with all of us. I think that is almost like self-therapy. I do that too with you guys. I keep talking to you about all my blah, blah, blah stuff. And it works because you guys always help me out. Your comments always help me out. There's a certain degree and amount of things that we can self-heal. Heal ourselves, you know. It doesn't always have to be prescription medications and other doctors. Sure, in some cases we need those, but in some cases we could pat ourselves on the shoulder and be like, we did this, you know. It can happen. Miracles happen. Tip 2, indulge in something else, like a dessert, chocolate, a good movie, you know, binging a TV show. I agree, but even here I have a contra, like a downside to this. So basically what Caitlin says, like, do all of this, indulge in something else, and then it's going to kind of fulfill you in a way that you're not going to need to also purchase stuff. My problem is watching TV shows makes me want to buy all the merch. If I like a TV show, I want to buy the whole merch. I want to buy the Funko Pops of the characters of the show. I want to buy the clothing, the apparel, the merch, the board game, the video game. I want to buy the cap. Well, that's also merch. Like, you know what I mean? They get me no matter how, no matter what tip you're going to give me. Brand marketing is always going to find a way to trick me and to get more money out of me. So I'm telling you, binge watching a TV show for me ends up in, oh no, I have the whole collection of Funko Pops that go with it. I got the Blu-rays that came out after the show was released, and yada yada. So it might work for some people though, tip number 2, not for everybody. Tip number 3, pick apart and analyze your cart, your shopping cart online. Pick the products apart. Pick and look for flaws in the products you have in your cart online, on the online shop. Like, be very critical. Like, you put 10 things in your cart, be very critical, analyze them. This is something that I do. Remember when I posted on my, oh, by the way, follow me on Coco Chanel is in my house, dedicated to my Chanel collection. Speak about FOMO. But there I posted on that profile a couple of weeks ago, a photo of one of the new bags back then when they released the Métier d'Art collection, 2021. And I said, let me describe to you how my FOMO goes. And I'm going to describe to you my process so that I can expiate it, that I can kind of expel it outside of me, so I can expel the need to buy that little bag. And I described to you how my process goes of desiring it and then falling in and out of love with it. And I said, ultimately, at the end of the description, I said, you see, by describing this process to you guys, I have kind of self-analyzed myself. And thanks to that, thanks to kind of putting into words the pros and the cons to this product, I no longer really need it. Because ultimately, it's my secret. I want a Hermes crop. I want a product. I don't want to share it with anybody else until I bought it. I'm sneaky. I even don't want to share the truth with myself. That's the biggest problem with FOMO. Here's tip number 1 from Dacob to you guys. And Caitlin, to you too, it might help. I analyze, you know, of course, this thing is different. I've had this for 11 years. It's a whole different can of worms, but whatever product, right? Let's say you don't own this yet. It's just online as a photo. You know, I'm going to be like, you know, glazing on the leather. Pros, I love orange. Orange is my favorite color, one of my favorite colors. Con, the wood might dry out. Yeah, this is wood. And Is it going to break? The wood is also kind of all glazed. I don't know. Is it going to chip? Is the glazing going to crack with time? That's a con. I can't always touch this with my hands because it's going to get dirty because it's a very light orange color. So plus, sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. The stitching on the side is very light. That's going to get dark with use. Maybe I should avoid buying it. That's a con. By using the crop, this is going to bend and the glazing might crack here. Will this little, you know, thread come undone? I don't know if I could properly use this crop because of that. And all of these little thoughts go through my mind secretly. I don't share them with anybody else. But if I do share them openly and actively with everybody else, then the FOMO disappears. Then I don't need to buy the product anymore. It feels like the mystery is gone, that magic is gone, like that hunting and owning something that only you have. Once you've shared it with the world, you don't have it anymore alone. And that really helps me a lot. Sharing on social media my desires, even though I haven't purchased something yet, helps me a lot to not purchase something, ultimately. You're welcome. Okay. Tip number 3. Oh, that's the one. So, oh, right. I have a con to that tip. The tip number 3 that Caitlin said, analyze everything in your cart. And you're going to, then you have 10 things in your cart. You're going to end up only with 2. But there's a downside to that. And that is that a lot or most of the online shops, when they see that you left an item in your cart, they're going to sneakily send you a coupon code to buy it at 5% off or similar. They get you, girl. They get you. And you know that Oompa Loompa 5% always gets you. Classic. It's a classic trick that they use. So anyway, tip number 4, go and take a good look around in your closet and wardrobe. Immerse yourself in the items you already own. One tends to forget how much one already owns, because we tend to duplicate and replicate items if we don't allow ourselves to immerse ourselves with our items and actually use them and wear them. My note, like my con to this, none. I wrote none, no cons. This is completely, I agree. This is a tip I would also give. Tip number 4, Caitlin, yeah, Dacob approved. Yeah, Dacob approved. You are a shopaholic, Dacob approved. And I can tell you this, it really does help to dig inside your closet and look at what you got, because we do tend to forget what we got. And we do tend to buy something 2 times, not the same product maybe, although it did happen to me, but you kind of end up, you're buying something very similar because you forgot you already had it in another slightly different shape or color, whatever, but you know, and then you see what you have, and then you get excited again about the pieces that maybe you haven't worn for a while. You rediscover them. It's almost like a birthday present all over again. And it's, I agree, this helps a lot to re-find, reconnect the love that you have for the pieces that you've already had in your wardrobe for a while. Tip number 5, remind yourself of your wish list. Think of the items you are currently saving for and don't lose focus. Caitlin mentions a house or a car for your future. I would not put a house on the same wish list as a bag, but otherwise, if you put a house on your wish list together with a bag, you got a problem, because those priorities are very different. But anyway, what did I write as a con to this tip? The list of these items might be huge. Some people have hundreds of things on their wish lists. I say, limit your wish list to top 3 items at a time. That's my tip. Just a little to top off Caitlin's tip number 5. I would say yes to wish list, but make it short. Make it snappy. Don't have hundreds of items on your wish list. Tops 3. You got tops 3, and you got to cross them over first before you're allowed to add anything else new to the wish list, if you can. Tip number 6, remove the autofill feature for payments on your computer. This is so funny because technically you write in your credit card information, what have you, and the website or Google, what have your computer asks if they can save that data for later. So it's easier for you to purchase next time. So next time when you're purchasing, you just get to the pay part and you just click on autofill, fills out all the information for you, click purchase, sent off, product arrives in a couple of days, and you are a couple grand shorter in the bank account. Now, deleting the autofill, it's a funny option because Caitlin here describes the scenario. She's like, because like I'm in bed, we're in lockdown, and I'm too lazy to stand up from out of bed, walk into the other room on the other side of the apartment to get my credit card information, go back, wobble back into bed and type in the credit card information, you know. So because you're too lazy to do that, you might not purchase the item. So do these little tricks, trick yourself into not filling the autofill so that, I mean, not having the autofill activated. It does help. It's not a con. I don't have cons against this. I think this does help. And it does really make you think twice before you purchase something because you're like, oh, damn. Okay, now I got to stand up out of bed, get the credit card, you know, and that we are lazy. We are that. Yes, we are. Don't sit there and be like, oh my God, who's that lazy? You and me together. We are those people. Don't be in denial, boo-boo. We are them's their people. Good point, Caitlin. 7. Caitlin says, tip 7, calculate the cost versus time. How much money you already spent for a particular category of luxury products you are purchasing in a year or month, and calculate how much you would need to work in hours in order to earn that money back. Cha. Theory, yeah, it works. In praxis, girl, hell no. Because if you are too lazy to stand up and go to the other room to get your credit card information, to fill out the order online, then you will definitely be too lazy to make this calculation. It's a good idea in theory, but really bad in practice because you're never gonna, that's one no-go for it. I'm not gonna sit down and start calculating how much I spent because it's just gonna make me barf. Remember that scene in Sex and the City? Here we go. Sex and the City, the old season, when Samantha was still with us. And Carrie and Miranda were shopping. Carrie was shopping for shoes. Miranda was pregnant. Carrie pulled her finger to take the ring off. Miranda farted. That's besides the point. Carrie came to the conclusion. She's like, oh yeah, shoes. Oh man, I don't know. Problems with Big. She wants to buy an apartment. Can't afford an apartment. Has to leave. Either buy her a rent-controlled apartment or she has to leave it because it's not going to be rent-controlled after she passes on the opportunity to buy it. She starts calculating how much money it will cost to buy an apartment. She says she doesn't have the money. Miranda says, well, look at all the shoes you bought. She's like, well, what's with the shoes? $500 a pair, 50 pairs, yeah, $4,000. And Miranda looks at her and says, no, darling, $40,000 on the shoes you've spent thus far. And then Carrie gets a heart attack and then Big buys her the apartment. Anyway, you see what I mean? I'm not going to start calculating the money I spent on these products because I'm just going to end up hating them, myself, and I'm just going to jump off a bridge because it's no, the way I see it, yes, they're expensive. Yes, they're not worth the money ultimately. They're a dream. Okay, I bought that dream. I don't want to know its costs later on. That's why I don't see bags as investments. Never. And I don't want to know how much that thing, no. I love it. I bought it. It cost the amount it costs, but I'm not going to 3 years from now calculate, oh, but I spent the $3,000 on that bag plus the other. It's in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. That money is gone. We can keep working, making new money, but this I do not do. And it would make me too depressed. Maybe it works for who is really good in numbers, who's really on top of their Excel files, Excel, you know, little mood board. I call them the Excel mood boards, you know, filling out all the, I'm not one of those people. I do not do that. But if you are, this could really help. This is a tip that could help you. And then you calculate, okay, you spent that amount of money. How many hours do you have to work to actually earn that money back? Then you're going to get a headache and you're going to feel sick, but you're still going to keep buying, in my opinion. But everybody's different. So this might work for some, okay? It might work for some, but not for me. Tip number 8. Caitlin Caitlin's tip number 8, reevaluate your credit card situation and consider deleting your credit card and not having one at all. Maybe hand over your credit card to someone you trust in your family that can block you from purchasing with that credit card for at least 60 days or so, or reduce your credit card limit. She talks about the 60 days thing because Caitlin has this theory that it takes around about 60 days to move on to another obsession. So to be out of the addiction to shopping online, if you stop for 60 days, you're out of it. Just like with chocolate, if you stop eating sweets and chocolate for 2 weeks, usually the craving for sugar kind of stops a little-ish. But then you get the yo-yo effect, because when you eat that bar of chocolate, 3 weeks after that, you know you're going to eat 20 of them because it's just the craving is going to be too strong. So be very careful with that. She did talk about her Qantas air miles that she keeps accumulating by using her credit card, and as soon as she's out of lockdown, she's going to use them all to fly all over the world. I get it. I would say maybe get a credit card that doesn't have all those perks. That's a tip I would give you. Get a credit card that gives you no perks. Very dry. You could do that. It'll help you shop less. Also, another side, a con to this tip is, in this day and age, you cannot almost live in a first world country without a credit card and without a credit score. Caitlin might not have that issue in Australia, but in America, there's a thing called a credit score. And if you don't build up your credit score, you're effed royally. So you literally, the system requires you to build a credit score. Credit card is essential to that, but also you need a credit card. In America, you can't live without a credit card. It just, I mean, you can, but then you're not a full-fledged citizen. you don't have access to a lot of things if you don't have a credit card. So that's a tricky one. But limiting, like actively calling the credit card institute and telling them to limit your credit limit, like, hey, shorten it, you know, to block yourself from that's a good idea. I think that's a very good idea. But again, in America, that could have repercussions on your credit score. Be very careful, you know, in America if you're doing games with credit cards. Tip 9, Caitlin says, organize outfits, search for genuine gaps, organize a week or 2 weeks of outfits. And by doing so, you're going to fulfill your need to look and, you know, glitzy, the glitz and the glamour, taking the photo-lets for Instagram, for the this, for the that. Okay, now this works if you're a planner. Again, Dacob, Excel is not, does not, did, done that. So I can't, for the love of me, on a Sunday, plan out what I'm going to wear on a Thursday. It just ain't gonna happen. I'm too moody. I'm too moody. I changed my mind. No, I won't. I can't tell you on a Sunday what I'm gonna want to wear on Thursday. So planning out the outfits like this is not for me, but it can be for you. You might just be that person that cooks, buys all the grocery stuff on a Monday and cooks for the entire week, has the rations of food sectioned off day per day. And this doesn't have to come out of necessity for budgeting. Some people really have this out of necessity for organizing their diets, for health issues, or just being skinny or not skinny issues, preparing for some marathon, for whatever reason, okay? Not me. I'm hungry, I eat. I'm not hungry, I don't eat. No schedule. It's worked for me thus far. But so same with clothing, same with perfumes. It's about the mood, about that day. What I planned out for Thursday because the weather forecast said it's going to rain, and I planned out some, you know, Barbour little jacket thing, little, you know, little me feeling my British oats. And then Thursday, it's like melting hot outside, and I'm like, oh. But I already planned the Barbour jacket, so I'm going to wear it anyway, you know? So there's a lot, it's just not me. But again, this might work for you. So it's a tip that works for some, but not for everybody. Tip 10, pre-plan alternative activities. Make plans with friends to keep busy, meeting people, and be fulfilled with love. Now, this is a little bit similar to the first point, like drive a car and read a book, in my opinion, except you exchange the car and the book with friends and family, right? But the con to this, I wrote, this is my opinion only, we are all lonely and we all need to fill a void. Brand marketing knows this like no other. And brand marketing caters to our void. It will always slither its way inside of us and will always lure us into the snake oil salesman routine of promises of being fulfilled if we make just that one more purchase. Because brand marketing, what does brand marketing do? It always makes us believe that we're just that one last purchase away from being eternally happy, fulfilled, and elevated. That's so not the truth, but that's what they make you believe. Guys, listen, hold on. Don't kid yourself, okay? Don't lie to yourself. I'm looking at you. Each and every one of us has that feeling like the next best thing is just around the corner. That's also dating apps don't work. Because you just keep consuming all the chicks or the guys on there, and you're like, you never commit. Why? It's the same principle as shopping online. Because you always think the next time you open your dating app, somebody better is going to come along. So you never commit. You keep consuming more and more. Same applies to brand marketing. They want you to keep buying more and more. And they always give you the feeling that, oh, great that you just bought this. But the next model coming out next week in black with metal, now that's going to really fulfill you. It's been updated, and that's the ultimate. Do you recognize how they use these words to describe products? The ultimate, the final deluxe, the all-encompassing, the ultimate. I just said that. Wait, there's the ultimate, and then which other one is? The final. And it always gives you that illusion that, okay, this is it. And then like 2 months later, no, the updated version of the ultimate comes out. And you're going to need that one to be happy, to be fully happy. And then you're like, yeah, man, I am. And then 2 months later, oh, by the way, you're going to need this one to be fully, completely happy. And you fall for it yet again. So brand marketing knows that. And I'm telling you, the only way to be immune from that is to have love in your life. Completely fulfilled, and with the person that loves you, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, kids, pets, what have you. But you best believe.
I'm always one purchase.
Oh, thank you for the donation, Julie Scott. Thank you. What did you write? Okay, I can't see. I'll see it in a minute. I'll see it in a minute. But you see the problem. I love the super chats, but then I forget what I was saying. You're fulfilled, love, right? Family, parents, what have you. But then the problem, lovers. But the problem is, and also here, let's be honest, 90% are not fulfilled, and brand marketing also knows that. So they cater to your needs, like, oh, single, alone, on your couch, desperate? Don't you worry, honey. Here's a 5% voucher to purchase online whatever your heart desires. Let's fill that void together, shall we? And that concludes the 10 tips Caitlin shares with us to battle the FOMO. And I kind of analyzed the 10. Added my 2 cents to each one of them, the pros and the cons of each one of the points. I added also one of my own points to that list. Let me know what your cons or pros would be, or what are your tips? Do you have any tips to kind of prevent yourself and others from shopping online and spending all their money online? Help us out. Let us know in the comment section down below. Let me read the super chat. Julie Scott says, I'm always one purchase away from happiness, LOL. Classic. Julie, that is exactly what it is. We are all just one purchase away from happiness, but we're never quite there, are we? Let me cue in the end credits while I read a couple of your comments. Ollie says, true, Dacob, credit card history or lack of history is what keeps people poor, unable to own property, rent an apartment in a neighborhood, buy a car, to break the chain of poverty. It's a messed up system. It's a terrible system. But, well, welfare cliff, says Seabreeze. Debbie says, go take a walk without a phone. Lauren says, single? Alone? On your couch? Desperate? Dead. Lauren Breen. But Lauren, that's exactly how they get you, you know? That's how they get you to shop till you drop. When you don't realize that you're already dropped dead on your couch. Kimberly says, I also think the internet is addictive and makes these tendencies worse. Totally. Social media in primis is one of those. Social media is dreadful and it's a killer. It's a killer because it makes you want to buy even more. DSD says, like on Amazon when they threaten only 5 left on an item. I know. And then you purchase the item and then you check again 3 hours later and then it says 10 items. Oh, they restocked right after you purchased. Dragon Boa says, you know, honestly, I loved when I first moved to this country. I had 2 pants and 5 tops. It was a no-brainer getting dressed. I totally get the minimalism freedom. Oh yeah, it's the best. If you can do it, more power to you. More power to you. Susie Q says, I got myself into credit card debt 15 years ago. My score went down into the 500s. A valuable lesson that inanimate objects don't fill you emotionally. Oh, Susie Q, wonderfully said, wonderfully said. I'm so sorry that you were in that trouble, but I'm glad you're out of it. I hope you're out of it, out of that trouble. And I'm so glad that you're sharing this with us, because these are the stories that we have to share, because when we share this, it helps, you know, it helps build community, and it helps us also strengthen each other and be like, hey, you can do it. You can get out of this problem. You can get out of the pickle. We can get out of the pickle together. Michelle M says, as human beings, we will always crave more and more. Yes, but that's also part of the system we live in. The system we live in is also built up to make us crave more. If we lived in a healthier system and environment, it wouldn't be that bad, but yeah. I'm literally changing my mood 4 times per morning. I can't plan ahead, not even for the same day, LOL. Yeah, you see, I'm not alone in this. Susie Q says, I lost 50 pounds and I've kept it off for 8 years. It's all about looking at things in a different way. I wanted to be healthy, so I stopped eating junk. Good for you. Good for you. Sobe says, that's a good tip, Dacob. Credit card with no perks. Yes, Sobe, credit card with no perks. Don't mess with it. If the credit card gives you ups the limit, let them. Don't tell them, no, lower the limit, because that can mess with your credit score as well. Let them do what they do. Give them nuggets. Use the card, because you need to use the card for your credit card score. For your credit score. But never big stuff. You can even buy a chocolate bar from time to time and then pay it off immediately after that. But just give the credit card always input that you're using the credit card, but that you don't really need it. That's when your credit score goes up. My ultimate tip as a consumer to another consumer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye. Mwah.